Yeah, I mean, well, the things that are happening, right now during this time frame are the same things that are happening every single year when we start a new year. Everybody's talking about Ohio State, all the hype around us, everything. So it's been the same all the years I've been here. So you kind of learn to manage it, like you're saying, and kind of just keep things within the building, play for the love of your brothers, and stay focused on what we got going on inside our own walls.
What about when you're, get to a big game later in the year and it's tight in the fourth quarter? How have you learned to kind of manage those, situations?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta rest in the fact that you did the training to prepare yourself for that moment. There's nothing extra that you're going to do in those moments that you haven't done before. I mean, you're not going to make some spectacular play that you've never made before. You're not going to run a 4-3 when really you run a 4-7. I mean, you got to trust the work that you put in and trust your teammates to do their job.
Emeka, you're from Seattle, Tacoma area.
Yeah.
You were around the University of Washington. You know what a big rivalry it was with Oregon.
Yeah.
And you know that's going to be a big game this year. When you saw that game scheduled and it's going to be at Eugene, what goes through your mind? How big of a game, and just looking forward to that.
Yeah, the first thing that goes through my mind is all the tickets I'm going to need for my family. Like, that's going to be crazy. I don't know how I'm going to come up with those, but just being able to play on the Pacific Northwest is a dream come true of mine, in front of, friends and family who I've grown up around. In a great environment like Austin. It's super exciting. I mean, I'm stoked for that game.
Emeka, I'm curious. Last year, you had some high NFL draft grades during the year. You opted to come back. What went into that decision to come back for another year?
There was a lot that went into the decision. It was really, coming out of the last game after Missouri, I was really 50-50. And I didn't really know where I was going to go, but I just stayed prayerful about everything, and I really leaned on my Lord to give me guidance, to give me answers, and I felt like He gave me, the direction to be able to come back here for senior year. And it turns out a lot of my friends felt the same way, and here we are with a very veteran and senior team. So we're looking to do something great, much bigger than football, and yeah.
And with that, what does it mean to be in this wide receiver room with all these? You got young guys coming up too, and now you're the senior in that room.
Yeah, I try to give little bits and pieces of what I learned from here throughout the years to the young guys, and kind of just be a big brother role model for them. And it's something I definitely don't take lightly because I know how much Garrett and Chris meant to me in Jackson. So I'm trying to be that for those guys. It's not too hard when you have such special talents like that.
Emeka, how much did you talk to with Marvin throughout his NFL draft process, and what maybe did you learn and glean from talking to him?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a decent amount, but I was never really bugging them about draft stuff. We were just talking about what friends would typically talk about. I know he's got enough on his plate, and I don't need to be bugging him about everything. Plus, I know. I mean, it's not really like. I mean, I care to an extent, but like, I'm not gonna pick his brain too much about the stuff he's got going on. I'm just, asking him what time he's done so we can get on the game or something like that. So.
There's been a lot of high praise for Brandon Ennis. What do you see in him just let you know he's about to take that next step as well?
Yeah, the next step for him was being voted onto the leadership committee that we have within our own team, which is a player voted thing. So it shows that the guys on the team are seeing some leadership skills out of him, and his ability to step up into a role that we need him, because while I feel comfortable in my leadership role with the wide receivers, there's some young guys he can bring along too. And so Brandon has done a phenomenal job all off season. He's been rehabbing a ton from his little injury that he had going on, but he's doing really well for himself.
Coach Day said you can feel Brandon when he's out there on the field. Just sort of kind of left it generally at that. How would you describe the impact he makes for you guys when he's healthy and able to play?
Yeah, I think that accurately describes it. I mean, he's a huge energy source. He's always very hyped, brings the juice on every play, and he's a super high effort guy, 110% on every single play he's in. So I think that's kind of what Coach Day is alluding to.
What have you worked on in your game specifically this offseason?
Kind of just playing bigger, stronger, faster, getting my body healthy, obviously, from the little hiccups that I had last year, and just being someone who can be explosive, go up and make those 50-50 plays, turn those hitches into touchdowns, and become a stout blocker on the perimeter.
You guys have a talented quarterback room. I guess just how important is it for you to build a relationship with all those guys, not knowing who may be out there for the first snap?
Yeah, I mean, unintentionally, I've gotten really close with all of them. They're all such great guys, and they're easy to be around. So whether it's we're golfing, or we're throwing on the weekends, or we're playing video games, like, all those guys are really close friends of mine.
as you look to take your game to the next level, I'm curious, whether in college or in the pros, who are some of the guys that you try and watch and model your game after?
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of talent throughout the league. Like I watch everybody, Devontae Adams, I watch Mike Evans, I watch, everybody, because like I know a lot of people like to watch, like-bodied people. I like to watch everyone just because I feel like I can take bits and pieces from everyone's game. So while I may not be able to, run like Tyreek, I try to look at the plays where maybe he's not using his speed to his advantage and how he can use his body leverage and all that type of stuff. Because when it comes to guys like Tyreek, obviously he's very blessed when it comes to the physical aspect, but he's put in a ton of work, and people don't know how truly great of a route runner he is also. So
what do you make of just all the chatter around Jeremiah Smith since he's come in and everything we've seen on social media? How's he handling that, and how are you guys handling that as teammates? Are you poking at him at all about it? Or?
Well, I mean, if you talk to Jeremiah, you wouldn't even know. He was, he's very about his business, very professional kid. I think that's what's most impressive about him, because he's the prototypical wide receiver that you would want. But he's mature beyond his years, and you don't really have to get on him too much. He's going to work. He's going to keep himself humble, and that's what I love about him.
Are there things that we didn't see on social media that has just made your jaw drop as well? Some things you've seen from practice or workouts this offseason?
Well, I mean, the workouts that we have are never, for social media. You guys are only there for practice. So he's a really strong kid, which is, his body is developing, and he's just making leaps and bounds every single week when it comes to improving his body and his, getting bigger, stronger, faster. So he's really taking the training to heart that Coach Mick has provided us.
Will there be
this group of 12 guys coming back, having this group of leaders, how does that help these young guys kind of going into it with such high expectations?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see how we're able to handle the pressure, and the young guys can kind of feed off of that because it's easy to, go up when people are talking good about you and come down when things may not go your way. It's kind of easy to ride that little roller coaster that you have, but being able to manage the expectations is something that you learn throughout your experience in college. So we're trying to pass that on to the young guys.
Do you think the expectations that are being thrown out are accurate? Obviously, you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same expectations that people throw out every year when it comes to Ohio State. Every year, people say, "Oh, natty inbound," all this type of stuff. So it's just more of the same. So we try not to let it get to our heads. We try to stay down and keep working and recognize that you got to put everything together when it comes to it on the field.
Back in 2021, when you and Marv were freshmen, Chris and Garrett and Jackson were talking about how you guys, they're better than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be better than us. And obviously you guys have to go out and do it and live up to that. Last year, Marv was talking a lot of stuff about Carnell Tate and how good he can be.
Mm-hmm.
Is it helpful for Jeremiah to hear that stuff? I mean, he's gone through his first summer now. He's settled in. Is it helpful to hear that? Is it motivating as a young guy who's hearing it yourself? Or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I can't speak for Jeremiah, but I know when Chris and Garrett and Jackson would hype me up, I mean, that just gave me such tremendous confidence, and their ability to uplift me did more than they even knew at the time. So we try to instill that confidence in the guys and let them know that, like, even though like college is hard, like you go through times where you have doubts and you're like, am I cut out for this? Can I do this? And just receiving that confidence from someone is not lying to you and is and you have stood side by side and put the work in with is really encouraging. So we try to do that for the younger guys, let them know they're in the right spot and they're doing everything the right way. They just got to continue at it.
What stood out to you about
into Milan Graham and what he's showing you guys in the first Ajax community campus?
Yeah, he hasn't been here too long, but he's kind of a quiet kid, goes about his business. So he's one who's he came in and you didn't really know what he's thinking because he was so quiet, but he's taking the work to heart. It's not one ear and out the other with him. It's in one ear and he goes to work. So.
Because Denzel always been Denzel the way he is, unfiltered, just willing to say whatever from the time you met him, and how you see him grow.
Yeah, he's absolutely been the same since I met him. I think that you accurately described him. Not really too much of a filter, says what's on his mind, but that's what you love about him. So.
What's it been like to kind of see him help restore BIS?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's really been a backbone of the defense, and I think he's kind of taught a lot of guys just what it takes to be an elite player when it comes to his preparation, his film study, his extracurricular work. Like when he comes back and extra hours working on his feet, all that type of stuff. He's kind of been a role model for a lot of guys.
Emeka, how has Caleb balanced settling into teammate?
Yeah. When Caleb came in, you would think he would have been here for years. Like he fit in perfectly with everybody. And when it comes to on the field, he's as advertised. He's a great player. He can play zone, he can tackle, he can play man, he can do it all that you would want at a free safety position.
I'm just thinking about Will Howard and kind of what gives you confidence that he could be a guy that could succeed, at Ohio State.
Yeah, what I like about Will is that he's a fifth year, he's a vet guy, he's played a lot of football, got a lot of football under his belt. He's coming from a really different program and a really different offense in Kansas State. And now transferring to Ohio State, and he's took the coaching and he's kind of ran with it, and he's developed at a rapid rate. Like you see him get better and better each practice, which is really encouraging to see.
How do you see this offseason as being the oldest guy, the leader in that room? What has that been like, just kind of going from December to now, and how do you feel like the young guys have kind of around the league?
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of allowed me to be a leader that they can listen to, and they kind of take my coaching and everything that I try to do, and they've kind of instilled it, which gives me a lot of encouragement to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm just honored and blessed to be in a position to be able to do that.
How have you changed, you think, as a leader, as from your time at Ohio State to now, and how much do you feel like that helps you?
Yeah, I've always felt like I was a natural-born leader. That was always something that I really tried to do whenever I was in a situation to do so. But just being at Ohio State has really helped me hone those skills and just kind of be a leader who carries the water. You know what I mean? Who doesn't, just talk the talk, but also walks the walk.
You guys obviously have not shied away from the Bulls, but to get there, you have full camp, you've got the non-conference, you've got some of the games that maybe aren't going to generate the hype as sports fans. How do you ride through that to get to the final without too much up and down?
Yeah, you got a lot of football to play before November comes, before the 12-team playoff comes, before all these things come. So the main thing is just staying within your circle, staying within the guys in the building, not letting the outside noise make too much noise in your ear. And one of the main practical things is taking care of your body. It's a longer season with this 12-team playoff, so we got to really be on top of that as well.
Can you take the Akron game, for instance, as big as some of those other games? I mean, are you guys able to do that mentally so that there's not a drop-off between opponents?
Wait, what do you mean?
Oregon game obviously is going to be huge.
Right.
But you have to play Akron. You have to
Yeah.
Can you make those games as big in your mind so that there's not a drop-off of the opponents maybe on the key games?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the later games in the season aren't going to mean as much if we drop one to Akron, so, yeah.
Question on wide receiver. What's it like, the history? I mean, here you are, wide receiver at Ohio State. Great history. I remember talking to Marvin, and his name's up, his dad's name's up there. But what's it like for you to play wide receiver at Ohio State?
It's amazing. It's truly an honor and a blessing. I can't really say too much about it. It's just a dream come true.
Can you talk about the changes on offense? You got new quarterbacks to look at. You have new offensive coordinator. Thoughts on Chip Kelly? Just changes on the offense.
Yeah, every year is a new year, and you kind of got to find your identity as a team. So that's something we're searching for, especially coming up in this fall camp. And with such an explosive duo out of the backfield, it's going to be hard for teams to stop that. And then that kind of opens things up for us on the outside. And with Coach Kelly's great mind, I have no doubt he's going to be able to use the tools that he has at his display.
How has the dynamic been with Coach Day making the transition to being more of the CEO and then Chip Kelly?
Yeah, I think it's gone smoothly just because of how much trust he has in Coach Kelly. They were former coaches together. And I just feel like there's a tremendous trust there. So
Jack was talking about the same thing, the transition from Ryan giving play calling to Chip. He said it's like giving up your baby for a coach to do that. Can you appreciate how much of a sacrifice is the right word, but like when Ryan gives a play calling, what do you think that signifies?
Yeah, I mean, if we use the analogy that you were talking about, giving up your baby, you got to fully trust the person who's going to hold it. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's able to do that with Coach Kelly really testifies to Coach Kelly's ability to handle our offense. So I think Buckeye fans have nothing to worry about coming up in the future.
What's your biggest impression of Chip Kelly to this point, now working with him?
Yeah, I spent a little time with him in my high school years when he was recruiting me at UCLA, and I didn't have the strongest impression of him at first because Coach Kelly's someone you kind of got to get to know. You got to get to know his mannerisms, all that type of stuff, because he's a unique character. But once I got to know him a little deeper, I mean, I love Coach Kelly. I'm so glad he's a part of what we're building here at Ohio State, and I think he's the perfect fit.
How do you see Will Howard build a relationship with you and other members of the office?
Yeah, I mean, Will's a very personable guy. When he first got here, is like we've known him for years. You know what I mean? He came in and he was best friends with everybody on the team. So whenever, Will's always hanging out with people, doing extracurricular activities. We're golfing on the weekends. We're doing all this type of stuff. So Will's just a blast to be around.
Why golf? Why has golf become the thing for this football team? Denzel's talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's competitive. It's something you're never going to perfect. So it kind of brings out that fiery competitiveness in a lot of these top athletes, which is why I think we love it. And it's also, it's kind of, you don't have to, strain your body to be able to compete like that. So.
Yeah, there seems to be a togetherness or whatever, chemistry about this team that's rare. That I've been covering this team for a long time. Well, how would you describe it, Emeka? Has it been, once you decided to come back, has it been what you thought it would be?
Yeah, this is the most tight-knit group of people I've ever been around. I felt like I was pretty close with, my high school team, but this is a whole nother thing in itself. Like, everybody on my team is my brother, and I can truly feel like I can go to anybody, have an honest conversation, talk to them about what's going on in my life, and they're going to be there for me. So it's like when you're able to be vulnerable with people like that and have everybody in your corner and have 100% trust, you're able to play freely and play for each other.
Who's the best golfer on the team? Who's the best golfer on the team?
The best golfer on the team is me, yeah.
You talked a little bit about competition. I assume you played the new college football video game. What's
Yes,
it
sir.
like just to be able to see yourself play with yourself and teammates and stuff? How fun is that?
Yeah, it's amazing. And, I'm constantly texting my teammates when they don't make a play for me, and I'm letting them know, like, if you do that one more time, I'm subbing you out. But, no, it's a great game. EA did an amazing job, and it's just so much fun to play. I can't really say too much of it.
Do you know your scores, your overall, your speed, and your strength?
I think I do, yeah.
Okay. Do you know your overall?
This is 93.
93. Are you happy with that?
I feel like that's pretty solid.
You guys here.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty solid. I'll take a 93. And, yeah.
What about speed? What do you think your speed number is?
92.
Yeah, okay, so you know.
I know the numbers, yeah.
What did you think of strength?
I was a little disappointed in that one. I'm not going to lie to you because I know I'm not naming names, but there's some wide receivers around the nation where it's like, they might be, 190 pounds and all that type of stuff. And I mean, I feel like I'm 205, kind of, strong guy, and I got lower strength than them. So I don't really know what that's about.
Who'd you say the best golfer on the team was?
Me, yeah.
And why?
I have the lowest handicap.
Who's the worst?
Oh. There's a lot to choose from. I would say again, 6.6. Who's the worst golfer? Oh. Yeah, no. I don't really have an answer. There's a lot of, but I'll give you some of the best guys. Is me, Lincoln's pretty good, Will's pretty good, Toby Wilson, he's getting there, and yeah, I think those are probably the main four guys that are kind of at the top of the chain. Denzel is someone who, his game's not all the way there yet, but he plays the most out of anybody. He's going to be really good soon. He's been playing so much.
Emeka, it's very rare that you have this many guys come back. And what were the conversations like? Was it everybody kind of making their own, or was it really we all want to come back and take another swing at Michigan, Big Ten national title? Was that more of it all together? Or?
Yeah, it was kind of shocking because like all of the guys, they did their own process. They did their own evaluation and found out what was best for them. It just so happened that we all came together and we were all thinking the same thing. You know what I mean? And so that was really special to be a part of, to know that I wasn't alone in what I was feeling. And so I just think that testifies to how strong kind of our bond is and our one-word focus of what we're trying to accomplish this season.
I was going to say, how is that contributing, like you said, feeling like a high school team in some ways? I mean, a lot of you guys are upperclassmen now, so does it kind of like being a senior in high school in some ways?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so.
How much did Michigan specifically factor into that decision?
Yeah, that's always a game that you want to win when you come to Ohio State, and that's something that we seniors, we know all too well because we haven't done it once. So you can't really leave without gold pants.
As a wide receiver,
as the leading receiver for this group, how do you navigate a change in the quarterback position?
You just try to be an open, reliable target. So it doesn't really matter who's in at quarterback. We're still going to have the same route. We're still going to run it to the best of our ability. And, if the ball's anywhere in our vicinity, we have pride that we're going to come down and catch it. So,
Emeka, how would you term the Michigan subject right now? It's been 3 years. And whether you came back for that or not, it's going to be in the air whenever you get every day of the season until you play.
Yeah, I mean, there was a period where it was like 8 years for them or something like that. So this rivalry goes back and forth, and they found a way to bounce back after I don't know how long the stretch was. So it's the same way we're going to find a way to bounce back. It's gritty. It's a hard game. It's going to be hard every single year. It doesn't matter if they don't have the talent per se, and we do have the talent. It's going to be a hard game every year. So
what's it been like now that Will Howard's been on campus longer? How has he kind of like acclimated the more time he's had at 30 guys?
Yep, he's doing better with every single practice. He's getting more and more reps. He's becoming more and more comfortable. So.
How does NIL kind of change your college experience?
I came in my freshman year, and it was kind of implemented early on. I know for some of the other guys that came in and they started college right with NIL, but it's just given us an opportunity to be able to make money, which I don't think is a bad thing. And I think it had some implications to why some of the guys decided to come back for their senior year, because the NFL is always going to be there, that money's always going to be there, and we're able to make a little bit of an earning while we're here in college. So I think it's a bonus.
Last question right here. Last question.
Do you think you would want to be considered an employee of the school?
I don't know if employee is the right word. I just think that we come in every single day, and there can be people who definitely take NIL and use it for the wrong reasons, but I'm not concerned with the guys that we have at Ohio State. We have all the right intentions behind what we're doing. We put our best foot forward, and we play for the love of our brothers. And the fan base and the boosters and everybody's able to honor that by allowing us to be able to make money. So.